Hi everyone, I'm Lara Nash. I wanted to ask you a question. I want to know, are you happy? Now the reason I wanted to know this, because quite a few years ago now, I was really unhappy. And I didn't feel like I had any right to be. Because from the outside looking in, my life would have looked amazing, would have looked pretty good. I had a really good job that paid me really well and gave me a fair bit of time off. I had a boyfriend who I really loved and he loved me. And we had some really great mates. And because we had some money coming in, we were able to sort of go and do things. So it was a pretty good life. Except I was miserable. I was really unhappy. And it didn't start off like that. It just sort of gradually snuck up on me to the point where it didn't seem to matter what I did. I was just unhappy. And I guess now I would know that as depression, but back then I didn't really label it as that. I didn't know what it was. So I just labeled it unhappy. And I guess because there was no reason for me to be unhappy. So to help me, or try and help me, I went to lots of self-help books, and there's some great wisdom out there, and I just took it all wrong. I interpreted it wrong. So, for example, you might read about how it's good to be positive, or about the whole positivity train that lots of people seem to be on, and if that's working for you, that's great. But for me, it just made me feel more like shit. So what I was doing, I was regurgitating all this stuff about you got to be positive and you got to be happy and you got to be positive, and on the inside I just felt like shit. And every time I was trying to be happy and trying to be positive, it just made me feel worse, and it made me feel like a big fraud. Maybe if I had have interpreted that all as just being real and being me, not that I even had a clue who that was at the time, but even if I had have interpreted that as being real, I think that may have helped, but I didn't. Or the other one I didn't get quite right was follow your heart. That one can get you in the shit. So I took it as meant sort of following my heart as in following my emotion. So I later on down the track, when everything had fallen apart with my boyfriend, and I sort of started dating again, I ended up going out with people who were definitely not great for me, or because I was following my heart or whatever. And I think if someone had have told me that what that actually meant was maybe follow your gut instinct, that probably would have served me a hell of a lot better. But anyway, I guess my point is there is lots of wisdom out there, but it's pretty easy to take it the wrong way. So eventually, through my trial and error of trying all sorts of things and different healing modalities, and trying to anything that I could find that would help me, I finally got down to some of the real truths about things. And that's what I want to share in my courses that I've developed. So I've developed 2 training courses. One training course is all about taking back your life. At the time, I felt like I completely was not in control of myself or my life, and completely lost. So there's all tools about, it's just a different understanding about the way to look at the life, the way we've been taught about life and how we feel it and how we see it has all been, I don't want to use the word wrong, but it sure as shit didn't work for me. So this new way of looking at things and thinking and seeing things it gives you a total different perception on life, and it really helps you take back that control. And through that, and really learning tools for change, tools that actually helped me to change, to be the person I wanted to be, or I guess really it was just about uncovering who I was at my core, that led me back to happiness. And I know that's a big thing, and some of you might be going, oh, okay. Well, see, my background is training. And I think my superpower lies in being able to really get to the heart of things and explain, like, step by step and in detail. You know, there is lots of great wisdom out there, and a lot of the stuff I teach is nothing new. Like Sydney Banks was teaching this stuff back in the 80s. But I think, like I said, my superpower lies in really drilling down and help people see. And what I can do is I can actually give you examples of, you know, how I took things the wrong way and then how I saw things. So I actually think examples actually helps you to see things within yourself. What I don't do is I don't tell you what to do with your life or how to live it or anything like that, because what the hell would I know? I mean, it took me long enough to figure out my own stuff, let alone try and figure out other people's. Now, I firmly believe that you are the guru of you, and there's no one else there that will be better at figuring out your stuff or just uncovering your stuff than you are. So what I'd give you is actually tools and ways of learning how to do that yourself, learning how to access that inner wisdom that's yours, that you have access to, whether you call it your gut feeling or your higher self or intuition or whatever. I'm not really into labels, but you are going to be able to sort yourself out, and you are going to be able to see the world through a slightly different lens, a slightly less serious lens. And if it's anything like me, you're just going to be so grateful for it. And that's what's actually making me get off my butt and do this work, is because so many people are hurting. I remember only a few months ago, I was sitting down and I was meant to be exercising, and I was stretching, and I was watching a music video clip, and it was all about emotional pain. And I remember sitting there, and it just took me straight back to when I was unhappy, when I was experiencing just a shitload of that emotional pain. And sometimes I would feel like I was screaming from the inside out. And I know that might sound dramatic, but that is actually how I felt a lot of the time. Or I felt like no one could see me. Like I often used to get lonely, even if I was surrounded by heaps of people. And this video just took me like right back there when I felt like that. And I started crying, and I was like, oh, universe, like, there is so many people in pain. Like, there's so much pain out there, and like emotional pain. And then I heard really clearly in my head, like it was really clear. And it was like, well, what are you going to do about it? That actually made me laugh, because I was like, oh, that was a bit of a slap in the face. That was like, Lara, get your butt off the ground and start doing some work. And until now, I guess fear has held me back. So this is me getting off my butt. I'm going to do the work, and hopefully if anything I'm saying resonates with you and you want to know more, then you can jump on and purchase my first course, Take Back Your Life. And then that's the prerequisite to the Tools for Change, because unless you really truly understand yourself, it's really hard to change on that deep fundamental level. Not just I want to change, so I'll just be really stubborn and change, or I'll use my will to change. when we change on that deep level, when something really shifts, we don't actually even see the world like we used to. We can't. And it's been my experience before in the past that usually two people change either in a few ways. Either they want to change, but they just can't stick to it. They don't know how, and I guess they can't do much about it. Then there's the people that change because like something really bad happens, like something massive in their life happens where they physically can't see the world the same because the world's not the same for them. And then there's the third way, and this is the way that I explain, or the tools that I give you in my course to go through this. And that's where we actually use these tools to be able to see the world different and be able to learn about ourselves and shift some of those underlying core beliefs that we've had with us for a really long time that we might not have even known we had. We can bring them to the surface, we can see them for what they are, and then we get to make the choice. And that's the amazing power in this stuff, is it's all about bringing back choice to you. And that's probably what I'm so passionate about, is bringing back choice. So everybody knows that they can choose. Yeah. So that's all for me for now. I'm going to get back to finishing off my courses, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.